Summary of the river between Ngũgĩ wa Thiong'o. Makuyu and Camino are two Gikuyu towns in rural Kenya. They are on opposite sides of a hill, with the Honia River separating them. Even though the towns are enemies and often fight with each other, they are all connected by their need for the same river for water and farming. Chage, an elder of Camino, thinks that his son, Wayaki, is the promised savior who will protect their people from the attacking white colonialists. Wayaki is still a boy, but even at a young age, everyone can tell that he is a natural leader with a powerful look in his eyes. Chage thinks that Wayaki must understand the white people if he is to defeat them, so he sends his son to learn at the school in the nearby town, Siriana, under a white missionary named Reverend Livingstone. Kamau and Kanuthia, Wayaki's friends, go with him and study there for a few years. Joshua is a priest for the Gikuyu people from Makuyu. He has two girls named Nyambura and Muthoni. A devout Christian, Joshua tightly refuses his girls to be circumcised, as is the custom of Gikuyu women, thinking that it symbolizes the tribe's evil ways. But Muthoni decides that she wants to be cut so that she can be a real woman like their Gikuyu ancestors did, even though she loves Christianity. Joshua tells Muthoni he will disown her, but she doesn't listen and gets circumcised on the same day Wayaki does, making both of them men. The scar from Muthoni's circumcision gets infected, but she feels whole and no longer struggles with who she is. She dies on the way to the mission hospital in Siriana, which Wayaki takes her to. The death of Muthoni makes things even worse between the two villages. Makuyu, where Joshua lives, becomes loyal to the Christianity of the white people, while Kabonii, Kamau's father and Joshua's student, gives up the faith and becomes a fierce opponent of it. Camino vows to keep the tribe's traditions and purity safe from the impurities brought by the white colonists. In response, the mission school doesn't let any Kanuthia, Kamau, or Wayaki kids go there if their parents follow Gikuyu traditions. People in the village hear that white farmers are pushing Gikuyu people to leave their homes and work as serfs all over the country. They are afraid that the white people will change the way they live, which is based on farming. The three young men were kicked out of the mission school, so they opened their own school in Camino to teach the Gikuyu people who lived in the ridges. Kabonii thinks they need to use weapons to fight the white people who are moving in, but Wayaki thinks that education is the only way to fight the white people and their new governments. They want to work together to educate their children so that they can fight for their political freedom as a group. People in the town and even people from the nearby hills call Wayaki teacher to honor him as their new leader and savior. However, Kabonii envies Wayaki's fame and thinks that he should be the tribe's savior instead. He starts to spread discontent against Wayaki and make plans to kill him. As part of this plan, Kabonii sets up the Kayama, a government body that will keep the tribe safe from Joshua and the religion of the white people. The tribe picks Wayaki to be the Kayama and makes him swear that he will protect the tribe's traditions and purity, even though he just wants to focus on school. Although Kanuthia tries to warn Wayaki that Kabonii and Kamau conspire against him, Wayaki is too absorbed in his own goals to pay any heed. But when he has the chance, he doesn't call for unity between the Christians and the Kayama because he's afraid that would hurt his popularity and power in the village. When Wayaki and Nyambura meet, they fall in love, but they are not allowed to be together. This is because Joshua doesn't allow it because Wayaki works for the Kayama and Nyambura is not circumcised, which means she is not a real woman of the tribe. Nyambura says no to Wayaki's marriage proposal, even though she loves him, because she is afraid of her father's anger. But Kamau and Kabonii find out about Wayaki's plan and use it to get people to hate Wayaki because he broke the Kayama's promise to be pure. In the end, Wayaki tries to get his people to work together and get educated so that they can fight the white colonizers and fight for their political freedom. On the other hand, Kabonii dares Wayaki and says that he is the tribe's rescue. He also tells Wayaki that he loves Nyambura. For the sake of the oath, the tribe wants Wayaki to say that he loves Nyambura no longer. When he says no, they turn on him and hand Nyambura and himself over to the Kayama to be judged and punished. In the end, the villagers feel bad about how easily they gave up their own savior. In the face of white colonialists who come, grab lands, and demand taxes, the hills fell back into stillness and went to sleep. They were powerless to stand up against them.
About the author. Ngũgĩ wa Thiong'o was born in Kenya when it was ruled by the British. His Christian name was James Ngũgĩ. His people are Gikuyu, also written as Ajikuyu and Kikuyu. They are Kenya's biggest ethnic group. Ngũgĩ's early life was shaped by the fight of Kenyans against British rule. His family was very important to the Mau Mau freedom movement, which worked hard to get Kenya out from under British rule. Because of this, British troops killed his deaf brother and abused his mother. Ngũgĩ was a writer all his life and was very important to the growth of African writing in English. He put on the first performance of a play he wrote for the African Writers' Conference when he was 24 years old. Weep Not Child, his first book, came out when he was 26 years old. It was the first English-language book written by an East African author. In 1965, a year after that, he released The River Between. Ngũgĩ got his Bachelor of Arts at Makerere University in Uganda during this time. He then went to England to get his master's degree at Leeds. He put all of his energy into writing and releasing A Grain of Wheat in 1967, which was an important work. This kept him from studying, though. At this point, Ngũgĩ's life and work became much more political. He gave up his Christian faith and his Christian name, James, in favor of the Gikuyu name wa Thiong'o. He quit his college studies in England and went back to Kenya, where he worked as a professor at a university in Nairobi. People in Kenya were jailed in 1977 because of the political work he did and his Marxist beliefs. The government sent Ngũgĩ and his family out of Kenya after he got out of jail. He wrote books and articles and taught at several top colleges in the US and Europe.
Hope we summarized it fully and you liked it. Please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel so that we are motivated to create more videos.